Trojan family, Trojan gang. Fight on forever is in the building. It says game day is quickly approaching. I'm finna address the keys to win this game against LSU. Now these keys is gonna be very important for us to come out on top, right? Now these keys ain't necessarily in order. They all equally important and vital to this team's success going to Vegas facing the LSU Tigers, right? So the first and most important thing in a game like this, because I feel like it's going to be a shootout, right? Beginning of the season, both teams got new defensive coordinators. Both teams struggled last year, right? I feel like it's going to be a shootout, right? So one of the important keys is the turnover battle. Now, USC, we need to win the turnover battle because possession is going to be at a premium. Not meaning it ain't going to be a lot of possessions, but you want to maximize and try to score on every possession. If that's a field goal, or even if that's punting to ball and pinning them deep in their territory, right? So you want to win the turnover battle. You don't want to give them any extra possessions, any extra chances, and you take away yours. A lost possession from a turnover could cost you to lose the game at the end of the game. This game might be decided by one possession, meaning it might be decided by 3 points, 6 points, 2 points, 7 points, whatever. I feel like it's going to be a close game. So it's important, it's very important to win the turnover battle. We want to take the ball away and keep the ball. 2 years ago, USC was one of the best teams in the country with forcing turnovers. We need to head back in that direction and force some turnovers and take care of the ball on our end. If we win the turnover battle, which will give us an extra possession over them, it could come out big for us and it could be the difference of the game, that turnover battle, right? The next thing we want to do is win the time of possession, right? They got a higher powered offense. Our defense struggled last year. We got a new defense, right? I'm pretty sure our defense is going to be better at the end of the season than it is at the beginning of the season as the players get more and more comfortable and familiar with the system. So it's important for us to keep their offense off the field and keep our offense on the field. For one, that go keep our defense fresh. We deep at DB. We kind of thin at the defensive line. So I want to keep that defensive line fresh. The best way to keep that defensive line fresh is to keep them off the field. So I want to see more ball control. I want us to run the ball and have a balanced attack, limiting the opposing offense time on the field, giving our defense rest, right? And then the more we run, the less impact Harold Perkins can make. That dude is a monster. Perkins' constant pressure on our quarterback will lower our chances of being a prolific offense. So to limit Harold Perkins' major impact, we need to run the ball. Run the ball. Either run the ball at him or away from him, but we need to run the ball. I don't want Harold Perkins pinning his ears back on 70% of the snaps because we passing it 70 times trying to get to our quarterback. Eventually he'll start to make an impact, and I don't want Miller Moss to worry about him coming down his blind side, you know what I'm saying, affecting our passing game. I want Miller Moss feeling protected, completely focused. I don't want him thinking about no pass rush, right? Because Miller Moss in that Louisville game, he didn't face that much pressure, and when he's not under pressure, he's a good quarterback. I don't want to see what Miller Moss looked like in the first game dealing with constant pressure. That's not fair to him, and that's not fair to the team. So we need to run the ball for time of possession, keeping their offense off the field, keeping our defensive line fresh, and limiting the impact of Harold Perkins, because Harold Perkins is a guy that could make them win a turnover battle. Harold Perkins could come in for a strip sack. Harold Perkins could pressure the quarterback and have him throw an interception. He could damn near win the game by himself for the havoc that he causes, right? So we need to keep him in check. Running backs chip blocking out the backfield instead of going into coverage. We need to run the ball more, right? And focus on the time of possession battle. Keep the ball out of their hands and keep Harold Perkins thinking about the run instead of, trying to take our quarterback heads off. Another key is we have to stay ahead of the sticks, right? So when we do pass, we can go to the quick passing games to limit Perkins' pass rush, right? So long as we stay ahead of the sticks, which is 3rd and 4 and fewer, 3rd or even 3rd and 5 and fewer. As long as it ain't 3rd, 7 and 8, then we stay ahead of the sticks to a lot of 3rd down and 5s, 3rd down and 4 situations. We could go to the quick passing game, which alleviates their pass rush, right? And ain't no pass rush if you could get the ball out in 1.2 seconds, right? So stay ahead of the sticks. So when we do have to pass, Miller Moss ain't gotta sit in the pocket and wait for the route to develop down the field. We can hit him with the quick passing game. And then when you hit him with the quick passing games constantly, then that's when you can set up your deep shot down the field to guys like Zachariah and Jay Fair and Mekhi Lemon. So I want us to stay ahead of the sticks, and we can hit them with the quick passing game, or even on 3rd down and short, 3 and 4, we can take shots down the field because they see we get into the quick passing game, we ahead of the sticks. The DBs might, they gonna notice that, okay, they running a lot of intermediate short routes. They gonna make an adjustment to try to stop that. That's when we gonna go over the top. So we stay ahead of the sticks. We keep the playbook completely open. Our offense is less predictable on how we gonna attack and where we gonna attack from, formation wise, all that, right? It's gonna be hard to read what we doing if we stay in 3rd and short. Now if we in 3rd and 10, we going downfield. We running all routes that's at least past the sticks or at the sticks, right? So that's a key that a smart defensive coordinator, if you know that, it's certain coverages that you could call to protect them sticks. The down and distance, then you got time to draw up blitzes and whatnot. If we stay ahead of the sticks, it's hard to blitz, because if you blitzing, then you more than likely you giving up the quick pass underneath, right? That safety ain't gonna make it there to replace the linebacker that's blitzing, or if the safety blitzing, right? So it's gonna be a window there where that short passing game gonna be wide open, and they're gonna have to account for that, and that's when we gonna be able to take it up top on their defense, right? Another thing, we need to blitz their quarterback with a pre-snap shell look to disguise the coverage, right? So what I mean by that is, when we line up, don't give away our coverages, right? So don't make it obvious that we in a 2, a man, a 3. Show a different coverage and change it at the snap, right? While we doing that, we want to be applying pressure. We want to blitz. I don't want to blitz too much this game, but I want to give them a healthy dose of blitzes, because I want their quarterback and their offensive coordinator thinking about that, right? The more you got them thinking, the better you is. Instead of they just reacting off keys in this plan. We don't want them just playing out there, just playing ball. We want them to have to think and react to what we doing instead of react to what they doing. And another reason why I want to do that, because they got 2 great tackles. So if they tackles as great as they say they is, all the scouts like they NFL bound. I know Campbell really good. Jones is a young, good talent, right? So if they that good, one-on-one, we might not get that great of a pass rush consistently, right? We may not get consistent pass rush because our edges is not NFL edges at this point. Jamil Muhammad, at this point, he's not like a 1st round, 2nd round NFL edge guy at this point. Brandon Shelby, he unproven. So at this point, but their tackles, their guys who protecting the quarterback that deal with edges is NFL level. So in retrospective, they should be able to handle our pass rush. If that do comes true and our pass rush can't get consistent pressure, I'm not saying Jamil can't beat them one time, or Braylon or Luke can't beat them one time, but I'm talking about that consistent pressure. Not even just about sacks, it's about that consistent pressure, collapsing the pocket, making the quarterback feel comfortable. So to ensure we do that, I feel like we need to blitz with tricky disguise coverages. So the quarterback got to worry about the blitz, and he got to diagnose the coverage, whether we in a cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, cover 6. He got to diagnose that at the same time as diagnosing the blitz. Okay, we got a blitz shift in his offensive line, pass protection, or making sure the running back now, instead of going in the pass coverage, the running back is staying home to help block. We want him thinking. We don't want him coming up to the line of scrimmage and be like, oh, okay, I see what you in, and it's executing the play. We want him worried about blitzes, worried about stunts, worried about coverages. Once we start doing shell coverages and disguising coverages, now he thinking about that. Now he walks to the line of scrimmage and be like, oh, this looks like a cover 2, so I know it ain't, right? So now I got to guess if it's a cover 1 or a cover 3 or a cover 6, and I got to account for the man that blitz, right? So he's a young quarterback and got that much experience, right? You know, Jaden Daniels was a quarterback last year. This kid, he just like Miller Moss, started in the bowl game, so his experience is limited. So I want to give him a lot on his play mentally. Pre-snap shell looks, blitzing the quarterback, so he can read the coverage in the blitz simultaneously. And we have to get pressure, even though they got 2 NFL tackles. We can't concede that. We still got to figure out to get pressure on a quarterback, because if he's sitting in the pocket all day, then no matter how good our DB is, they gonna get yardage. They gonna move the ball down the field. A penalty battle. That's the next key. We must play discipline. That's the standard period for any game. We gotta stay disciplined. Penalties, you beating yourself. If the referee's making BS calls, and that's a whole nother story. But we gotta play clean, and we gotta play discipline, right? We gotta be mentally locked in, play by play, right? So we can win that penalty battle for sure. And then you gotta play for your respect. They calling you trash. They calling us trash. So go play with your head on fire, right? If you a hitter, go lay somebody out. Get going, right? You got skates, you got wheels, you got that blazing speed, go make a play, right? And if you're a relentless type of player, wear your opponent out. And if you in them trenches, give them that dog work. And then all the way back to the top, to the core and the foundation in the identity of this team, obnoxious communication and relentless effort, right? And we should be good. If we follow all these keys, right? If we out there playing with our head on fire, our hitters is laying people out, our playmakers making plays. If you relentless, wear your opponents out and get them dog work in them trenches, win that penalty battle, put pressure on their quarterback with shell looks and shell coverage. I know I ain't got to say that. I know D'Anton Lynn is going to do that regardless, right? So when I'm saying that, I just mean execute it. Play discipline, be ready, be locked in. I know D'Anton Lynn is already going to do that. So we got to be locked in, and we got to get pressure on their quarterback. I don't care about how great their tackles is. Then we got to stay ahead of the sticks, right? Time of possession, got to win that, run the ball, limit Harold Perkins, impact by running the ball and staying ahead of the sticks, and win the turnover battle, because it's going to be a shootout. You hear me? Right? So if we focus on these keys and at least get a B+ on all these keys, we gonna be in position.